Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another episode of At Cars and Things. You have probably guessed it from the subject line, what in fact this video is all about. I know it's a really sad video. I'm pretty sad, so what I will tell you guys is that it may begin off sad, but I've got some really cool news to share with you guys. Let's actually get into it. So you've probably already guessed it, you've seen it as part of the subject line. Why I sold my BMW M4, why I sold my VW Golf 7R. I've sold both cars. You can confirm it. They are officially gone. They are no longer part of my garage. In fact, I believe that the dealership that I sold them to's already had buyers take them, which is really cool. So I'm quite excited to kind of see them on the road as well. I don't know how I'm gonna react. I'm not sure what I'm gonna feel. I actually don't understand. I'm kind of at a weird place right now where, I just don't know how to feel. I mean, even when I sold the cars and I dropped them off for the very last time, I didn't even look back. It was quite a sad moment for me. But I knew there was better coming. So yeah, I'm quite excited for what's about to happen to my new garage. But I want to talk more about, and what this video is about is talking more about why I chose to sell both cars, why I chose to sell the monster BMW M4 that I had, and the project Golf 7R that I was looking to do up and do some really cool things to it. So I just want to chat to you guys just more about that, my thinking in the decision that I made, and what it looks like for the future. So I don't typically do videos like this. It's often just myself out in the field. There's some cars and some crazy stuff, and I'm probably burning in the sun. But today I thought I'd just take a sit down, just have a chat with you guys. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So why did I choose to sell my BMW M4? Why did I choose to sell my VW Golf 7R? And I'll begin with the BMW M4. Now, let's talk about duration. So I had the car, or rather owned the car, for about 2.5 years, which for me is really a long time. You guys may remember I had a 235 and I had a 240, which I've mentioned on this page before. I owned those probably combined for about 1.5 years, and ideally in my sights I've always had an M4. It's been my dream car. It's been the car that I used to see on the road, and I used to tell my girlfriend at the time, my ex-girlfriend who's now my wife, I used to tell her at the time, like, baby, that's our car, and until I actually had one. So I owned the M4 for about 2.5 years, and it was an absolutely amazing car to own. From the tech to the performance to everything the car came with. I loved every moment of it, and how I used to feel at the end of a month. I used to get into the car and just go for a drive around and actually feel and actually just realize why I'm actually paying for the car, why I still own the car. And I had always told myself that I'm actually never going to sell it. That's what I always used to tell people. I'm never going to sell it. I'm going to keep it forever, and I'm going to pass it down to my children's children if I can, because it was such an incredible car. And just in terms of spec, I had done, I think, everything to that car. So I had the carbon fiber parts, the splitters, the rear splitters. I had the side skirts, the spoilers. I literally had everything done to the car in terms of spec and cosmetically. That has been done before. I heard a lot of people call it the best M4 they've ever seen in South Africa, which is really nice to hear, because I put in a lot of work, I put in a lot of effort into making it look that good and making it look the best way it possibly can. I've always thought it's a really sexy car, so I wanted to really bring out the best in it, but I wanted to have the baddest looking car on the streets. Like, I just wanted to just kill the streets. Like, no lies. Like, I wanted to hurt the streets badly with that car. And I think for the most part, I achieved that, because I mean, I used to hear it all the time that I've got one of the best M4s peeps have seen around. I'm probably going to be showing you guys as part of this video just a few clips on the M4s. We kind of look back on it and what I did with it. But you can check out some of the previous videos that we did to just really see like what was up with the M4. But again, I think one of the best cars I've ever owned in terms of spec, because I literally went all out with that car from the modifications, and I had done a lot to that car. So I had like intakes, I had changed after like I got a drivetrain notification, I kind of changed the plugs and got like performance plugs. What else had I done to it? Oh my gosh, so obviously I had done like an intake on it. I had the car at about stage 2 plus, intercoolers, the boost pipes. I had done really a lot to the car, and I had it on the boot mod software. I tried another software before that, and it really wasn't cool, really wasn't working. I had it on the boot mod software. I also had a plug and play on the car as well. I had H&R suspension on the 19-inch standard rims that I kind of kept because I was really undecided about what I want to do to the rims. So I had kind of kept that, and I had done literally a lot on the car, whether it is performance wise or whether it's cosmetic wise. I'd really done a lot on the car, and one of the final changes that I did was I had done a straight pipe to the car. Now I've mentioned this before. I had a custom made M Performance exhaust, and basically what they do is they kind of customize your M Performance exhaust to get, of course, to make the car sound a lot better, to make the car sound louder as well. But essentially what I then did is I straight piped that full engine, I straight piped that full exhaust, and I tell you, the car was loud. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculously loud. I think my neighbors used to hate me every single time I would start that car. Now, I obviously work and I've got a 9 to 5, and I have early morning meetings on a Tuesday where I need to be at work before 8 in the morning, and I typically start that car at like 7, and my neighbors, I could just feel it on their behalf. I could literally feel it on their behalf, that it was just hectic. It was just hectic. Like it would just go whoa. And as soon as I drive away, it goes whoop, 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 whoop. And it was really ridiculous. And it used to do this on sport mode, but when I put it on like normal mode or eco mode, it used to drive fine until I put my foot down. Then it used to make like a really heavy sound. So in moving out of my estate, like kind of just driving out, I just felt painful for them. In fact, I've just become friends with one of my neighbors, and he just said to me, yo, I can tell you this now since you don't have the car. My wife hated how loud that car was. So I think they'll be very happy that I no longer have that car. But it was absolutely just incredible what I had done with that car and the performance I was able to get out of it. I truly believed in the moment that like the best performance that you want to get out of a car, you definitely need to play with it a little bit. And that's what I got from that car, which was really cool. I loved it. I really still do. I'm sure you can feel it as part of this video that I'm kind of hurting a little bit because I got so attached to that car. I was in love with it. But who really knows? There's a new M4 coming out in 2020, or rather 2021. New M4. So firstly, it's going to be the M3 and then followed by the M4. Who knows? I might get another one. But really, that was my dream car, and I absolutely loved it. Of course, the car was a bit big, and I kind of felt like in most instances it was really big and I couldn't really play with the car. So what I often ended up doing is I drove it on weekends, and I'd have the car parked, and I got a new daily, which was a Golf 7R, which I had really big intentions for, to do some really cool things to And really, I had done quite a bit to the car. I mean, just in getting the car, I probably spent like 100K. I probably spent about 100K just really getting the car to look the way I wanted to look, and to maybe have some part of the performance. So as part of what I did to it, you guys have seen it. You can check out the video as well. I do still have it on the page. Is I obviously got all the cosmetic parts that came to it. I got the decals. I was literally looking online to see what are the baddest looking 7Rs, one that don't exist in South Africa, and I try to recreate that, but also just giving it a personal touch and kind of localizing it in the way that I could interpret it at the time. So it really looked hot as well. Again, I was on a mission to hurt the streets, and having a really badass car. Funny enough, in owning both of the cars, I realized that it was actually crazy. The Golf 7R used to get a lot more love in the streets than the M4. It was actually crazy. Like, I used to get so confused and be like, yo, like, people really appreciate the Golf 7R. Like, it's like insane. I didn't understand that. I obviously don't do this for the creds and for the rep and things like that, but it's really cool to see how people really appreciate the work that you put into your car. So I had really done all the cosmetic things you could possibly do to it. Even inside the car, I had done some coloring and some decals and stuff like that, just to really personalize it and really make it feel like my own. The cool thing about the VW was that you could literally customize everything, which I really enjoyed, and that's why I decided to make it a project. I decided to do some cool stuff with it, and that one I absolutely loved. Again, I had the H&R suspension. I didn't have software on the car, but I did have a plug and play in the car, which gave me some decent performance. I had a full exhaust from Rogue, which sounded so sick. Oh my gosh. Ooh. It sounded so badass, and it used to pop so much. So every single time I used to visit Durban, because I'm originally from Durban, I used to just be driving around, and the car used to sound so monster because, again, I'm closer to sea level, so it's going to be louder, and it used to sound bananas. It used to sound so bananas, and I never used to hear a car that sounded like mine, which was really cool, and I really enjoyed that. I really loved it. I used to get such amazing exhilaration just from robot to robot, and I'd be like, hey, bop, yeah, bop. I have so many fun memories of that car. I really loved it. I think why I chose to actually sell the Golf 7R is particularly because I really wanted to experience what it's like having a 4-wheel drive car. I've often had rear-wheel drive cars, often had BMWs, and I really wanted to be able to compete with the 4-wheel drive cars, particularly at races and at drags. But I realized it was going to take a lot. It was going to take a lot to turn it into a full project car, and I had really big goals to turn it into like a 9-10 second car. But it needed, some extra sort of commitment, which I realized that I wasn't really committed to that extent to the car. Although I loved it, I really love it dearly. I really miss the car as well. But it was really fun to own. But I kind of felt like at some point I got a bit bored. I do feel like I didn't experience the full potential of what the car had to offer. I mean, I've seen some on the road, and they are amazing. They are super quick, reliable cars as well. But I really just wanted to have fun, and I wanted to use it as a daily and take it all the way up the stages. But yeah, I just think in the long run, I got a bit bored, and my commitment levels to really make it like a full comprehensive project car kind of just depreciated, and I was just like, I'm looking for more. I'm looking for more in a daily, something that's more fun, perhaps a rear-wheel drive car that is a daily. Now, I've spoken about how my M4 used to be my daily until it just wasn't working. I didn't find it quite feasible. It really didn't make sense. I really didn't find it feasible to use as a daily driver, because of course I had modified it quite extensively, and because I had modified it and it was straight piped, look, it did chow gas, and it just didn't make sense. I kind of felt like the wear and tear was like exponentially like increasing every single time I drove it. So then I decided, of course, to get the Golf 7R, which which as a daily helped really with that. To jump in a 4-wheel drive car, and then after that you jump into a rear wheel drive car, two worlds that are totally different, that were really cool. And just owning those two cars, I think it's one of the best combos you could possibly have. Having a Golf 7R or an RS3, and then again having an M4 or M3 or M6, just so you can jump in and kind of play with it. So it was really cool having both those combos. I think it was really a dream come true. I never ever thought that I would have an M4 and have a Golf 7R. Like it's never even occurred to me that was even possible. And all the sort of people that used to do that, or rather have that combination, are quite prominent or doing really well. So and actually see myself owning it. That's why it was such a surprise when I actually decided and I committed that I'm actually doing this. I'm going to get them, and I'm going to be really happy, and literally I've been happy the whole time, the whole time. So look, in my pursuit for happiness, I've been looking for a daily driver that I can go sideways with and have a bit more fun with, that I can play with on the road. I've always desired having an M4 that I could really play with, but play with on a daily basis. Just jumping in the M4 and you get exhilarated and you have all this fun, and then you jump into the Golf 7R, totally different experience. You also have fun, but it's really different worlds. And the kind of happiness and fun I wanted to have was the fun that comes with an M4, the fun that comes with a BMW. So that used to really play on my mind for the longest time, until I decided that this is what I'm doing. And in fact, I saw a car online and I said, look, this is what I'm going to decide to do, and I'm going to stick to my decision. And I'm going to tell you guys just a bit more about what that car is. But yeah, you know, I just absolutely loved the M4. I enjoyed it. Anyone who's looking to buy one, I would advise you to definitely do it. I think it's a car that you would need to own to really experience it and get the best out of it. But I will advise you though, on just cost, it is expensive to modify. It is quite expensive to modify, and on my M4, just doing all the cosmetics and all the internals, I mean, people spend like a lot on their cars, and I don't necessarily feel like I spent the most at all. I probably spent the least to really get the car to where it is. I probably spent like a good 250k just in modifying the car and doing all the cosmetics. So just a heads up, no one told me this, I am letting you know. If you're planning to buy a BMW M4, just to do all the things you want to do to it and really get true potential, you will probably need to spend. You may not need to spend as much as I did because I was trying out different things at the time. You'll still need to spend just on getting it to where you want it to be. So just an FYI, getting all those carbon fiber parts and all the decaling stuff and all the performance parts, etc. It is expensive because you will or are driving a BMW M4. So I had spent quite a lot, and that's something I didn't really want to do much of, to get the true performance of the car, really to get the car to drive really fast. So my thinking was, I really want to get a daily driver that is an M4, but one that doesn't cost as much. There's still a lot of things that I want to do. There's some business opportunities that I want to take advantage of and explore. So I can't really be going ham on car parts and buying new tires every week. Like I can't be doing that at the moment. So kind of just led me to my decision to kind of sell it and to let it go, which was really sad for me because I had done so much to their car. But if you do see it on the road, give them a shout out because it's really an incredible car. It's an amazing car to own.